Good evening, viewers, and welcome back to another edition of the Social Development Outlook. I am your host, Derica Liebert. And just to remind you that this program is hosted and produced by the Communications Unit within the Ministry of Social Development and other related departments. At this point in time, we'll take a break and be right back. And we are back. To start off tonight's program, we'll showcase some clips from the You Are Not Forgotten Awards hosted by the Seniors Division.
Good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Mistress Iona Sturge is one of the stalwarts of the fruitful village of Banscott. She is happily married to Mr. Leroy Sturge, and this union brought forth 4 wonderful children. Her eldest daughter, from a previous relationship, resides in St. Thomas, and this is her last son. Mrs. Sturge, a loving wife and mother, always puts her family first. She worked hard in order to ensure that her children became very productive citizens. She is the glue that holds her family together, and she inculcated strong values in all her children: respect, integrity, responsibility, hard work, hospitable, modest, humble, are some of the values she instilled in her children. This outstanding lady has contributed significantly to the educational landscape of Nevis. She worked as a cook at the Inez France Preschool for several years before she was transferred to the Charlestown Primary School in 2016. In 2018-2019, she was reassigned to the St. Thomas's Primary School. Mrs. Sturge worked hard to ensure that all students received well-balanced meals on a daily basis. She always engaged them to eat their vegetables so that they can grow healthy and strong. She worked collaboratively with the other cooks in all the schools. She resigned in December 2020 due to illness. Mrs. Sturge is a devout Christian, as stated in Proverbs 31:30. A woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. This godly woman uses her time to build up and not to tear down. Her time is used in prayer for friends and family. And I can attest to this fact. There are times when, even when I don't remember to call her, she's always calling me with a word of prayer, and she has encouraged me along the way. When school reopened, she would have called and she would have had me on the phone and she would have prayed for me. And you know, this goes a long way. Sometimes we don't even remember to pray for ourselves. So I'm grateful to Iona for her prayers. She remains faithful, and her life is lived as a witness for God. Today, we acknowledge Mrs. Iona Sturge for all her hard work and service to the community of St. Thomas's Parish. Her years of meritorious service has not gone unnoticed. We salute her and bestow our profound gratitude. We commend her highly, as her labor was not in vain. Psalms 128:2 is our prayer for her. You shall eat the fruit of the labor of your hands. You shall be blessed, and it shall be well with you. Amen. And these are the words that we would like to share with our dear sister Iona this morning.
Nevis Island Administration, Ministry of Social Development, Social Services Department, Seniors Division. You are not forgotten certificate award to Iona Sturge for your sterling contribution toward the development of the St. Thomas's community and the island of Nevis. On behalf of the Nevis Island government and the Social Services Department of the Seniors Division, we like to present you with a certificate and a fruit basket on behalf of all of us. You are not forgotten. We all remember you, and may God continue to bless you, and we love you very much. Amen.
Haldane Fisher Claxton. Well, his original name or his birth name is Haldane, but his call name is Fisher. And this name was given to him because as a young man he was learning trade at Johnny Howell. Yes, skilled trade, carpenter, mason, and he was still doing fishing. So he would get up early morning, go fishing, and come back, leave his mother to sell the fish, and then go to work. So people just call him Fisher because they think that Fisher was the appropriate name for him then. So from way back then, he acquired that name Fisher, and he still carries it. Most people, if you say Haldane, they think it's Sandy you're talking about, or Sandy's son, but if you say Fisher, they're going to say, oh yeah, me no Fisher, yeah, me no Fisher. So Fisher is a very hard-working man. He's a no-nonsense person. If you are working with him or for him, you have to be on time. You have to put in your hours, and you cannot just show up to work with fancy sandal shoes on your feet. You have to have on your work boots. And if you're doing mason, you have to get your hard hat. Else, you go back home until you get them. He was also a very proficient person. He makes sure that when the workers work, he took out their social service, social security, social levy, and he had his portion and he paid. He wasn't a person to say, well then don't work, me not give social security all this money. No, he wasn't like that. He's a very fair person. So he left Nevis in the late 70s and he went to St. Martin. He had 2 children before he left Nevis, and when he went to St. Martin he got 7 more. He got 7 more, but he didn't stay there. He also got another one, but that one went to Dominica, went home to Dominica. So he have 10 children in all. They are not here, but he recognized them. He know when every one of them birthday is, and he know what year they born. He have a few grandchildren, I'm not sure how many, about 5 maybe 6 or 7 grandchildren. So I would say he was not just a fisherman like going out to sea. He was a fisherman.
He was a fisherman.
Yes. So anyhow, not because he's now bedridden or disabled, I'm glad that social services step forward and recognize him today.
Okay, Miss Morton is going to read the certificate and Miss Whitaker will do the presentation of the certificate and the basket.
Thank you. The certificate reads, Nevis
Nevis Island Administration, Ministry of Social Development, Social Services Department, Seniors Division, You Are Not Forgotten certificate awarded to Aldane Fisher Claxton for your sterling contributions towards the development of the Charlestown community and the Nevis Island Administration. And it is signed by Mr. Keith Glasgow, Permanent Secretary, Ms. Sandra Maynard Morton, Director of Social Services, and this is awarded to you on the 10th of October 2022.
We'll now take a break, and when we return, we'll head straight into our featured presentation for this evening. And we are back. Join us as we celebrate with Mrs. Myrna Webb on her 80th birthday.
Viewers, and today we are here at the home of the lovely nurse Myrna Webb at Government Road. She celebrated her 80th birthday on October 7th, and to God we give all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. So today we are here from the Ministry of Social Development with our Minister, Honorable Eric Evelyn, her caregiver, Miss Angela Challenger, my office assistant, Ms. Jamaica Morton, her nephew and caregiver, Mr. Fred Robinson, and some other of our office staff. His gates with thanksgiving in my heart, I will enter his courts with praise. I will say this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice, for he has made me glad.
Thank you very much. And it is indeed a pleasure to be here this morning at the home of Sister Myrna Webb. And we are so pleased and happy and privileged and delighted to be here from the Ministry and the Department of Social Services. We are here because Sister Myrna Webb made 80 years just a couple days ago. Normally when we, our seniors reach these milestone birthdays, 80 and 90, 100 and above, we go and make a presentation. And of course, we are pleased that we are here today with Sister Myrna Webb. And of course, most of us who know Sister Myrna Webb know that she has made a sterling contribution, in particular to the health sector here on the island of Nevis. She would have served at the Alexandra Hospital for numerous years, and she would have reached the position of assistant matron. I have known all of my years, I've known her as Sister Myrna Webb, right? And I know that I've heard numerous good, just good, about Sister Myrna Webb and what a wonderful nurse you were in your day. At least the interaction that I've had with Sister Myrna Webb, she has always been very pleasant and she always carries a smile. And so that pleasant personality that Sister Myrna Webb has would have drawn many people to her. And as I said, she would have made a sterling contribution to the development of the island of Nevis. For that, we are eternally grateful for. Sister Myrna Webb is now 80. She still looks exceptionally well for her age. And I trust that God will continue to bless her abundantly, bless her with good health, and may she be around for many, many more. I know my good friend Floyd here and his family will continue to take good care of her. Floyd, I know Sister Myrna Webb loves her home and she wants to be taken care of in her home, right? So I'm sounding that warning to you. And I know that you and your family have been doing a marvelous job, and I encourage you to continue. We want, when seniors reach these ages, that they continue to feel the love from their family. That family unit is always very important. So, Sister Myrna Webb, we want, on behalf of us at Social Services, to wish you a very, very happy 80th birthday, belated though it may be. We trust that God will continue to bless you, and we hope that you'll be around for many, many more. Once again, thank you for all that you have done for us on the island of Nevis. And so we'll make this presentation of the plaque and the basket, and the plaque reads, Social Services Department Certificate of Recognition awarded to Myrna Webb in recognition of your 80th birthday, signed by Mr. Keith Glasgow, the Permanent Secretary, and Kim Singh for the Director of Social Services. Sister Myrna Webb, happy birthday. God bless you. We love you.
Thank you. First, I just want to say how much we appreciate the time that you guys have taken to be here this morning, especially my classmate here next to me. We had some good times in sixth form. Yes. And to Myrna, like I've said before, we have occasions like this. She saw to my education. I would remind folks that we didn't have, every game that we had was an educational game. You know, we had the Monopoly. There was a credit, I didn't know, there was a credit union game actually. She had stuff like that. I had a fancy robot that had 2 sections. You had a pointer, you put it on a question and automatically return to the answer. You know, and those are the kind of things that she used to find, and, you know, the jigsaw puzzles, stuff like that. And so I think I owe my academic education to her. She and my mom, who are 2 very close sisters, almost friends, and my mom took care of the other side of the story, the disciplining, you know. So I owe that to my aunt. And so when I'm challenged here by my good friend, the minister, that will take care of her, it's easy, because that's what family do. And for those of us, you know, she did her turn for me, and so it's just easy to return it. And so with those words, I want to thank Social Services, everyone who is here this morning, and even the extended staff for taking out the time and just being here this morning to celebrate with her. If you realize back here, matter of fact, my sister came down, my younger sister, and she had this little banner design that said, "Happy birthday, 80 years old," a few balloons. So we had a quiet day on the day. But we, you know, all thanks and glory to God. So again, thank you for making this happen today.
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Every day of the year, may you find Jesus near. A happy birthday to you, a happy birthday to you. The best that you ever had. This concludes our presentation to Miss Myrna Webb on her 80th birthday. Have a blessed day, everyone.
And that's our package for this evening. Do join us again next Tuesday for another edition of the Social Development Outlook.
We are now on Facebook and YouTube. Like, share, subscribe.